And we are back now with the final series of the evening. We've had our TVZs, we've had our TVT, and now we're going to be rounding it off with that TVP to finish things off with Binski, who we just followed in his series against Migs, showing us something very, very close. And I'm anticipating something similar here as he faces off DisK, who may not be a household name in, quote-unquote mainstream StarCraft esports, but definitely if you've been following the NA scene for a while, you know who he is. He's established himself in the region.
Oh yeah, DisK is a beast, mate. I'm pretty sure he got top 6 last season of DreamHack. I could be wrong when it comes to DreamHack 2021 Winter. But DisK is a monster in the scene. He's a terrifying Protoss player. Again, there's a lot of... You have to be so good in your versus P matchup if you want to excel in NA. There's players like Neeb, Estrella, Trigger, Nina, and DisK.
Without a doubt.
And of course, the Can Man. How could I forget?
I mean, that just goes without saying,
Oh, God. So, yeah, he is a terrifying opponent. But because of how close a series Binski just had against Vindicta, I don't want to rule him out, Even though I do think that he's still the underdog, I'm looking forward to a close series.
Yeah, and if the way he played against Vindicta as well, that sort of swarm Terran style, I think does work out a little bit better in TVP. He does need to approach it a little bit differently, instead of maneuvering around everywhere with his army, he does need to go for drops and a little harasses and whatnot. But yeah, in general, having the higher army in TVP is gonna work out a lot better than it does in TVT.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if the same dynamic plays out where usually in TVP, it's the Protoss player who typically has the better economy, They typically have more bases, faster bases. What about against Binski, though? We'll see if we can, kind of turn that kind of concept on its head a little bit as we're going to be getting ready and loading in to our first game.
Indeed. This is going to tell us everything about how the rest of the series is going to go.
Yeah, as a reminder, this is our final series of the night. Place your bets in the chat as predictions are now open here. Oh boy, and it's already been quite a day indeed. I've heard that the rest of the matches are finishing up as well. And if you want to follow Vindicta, then check him out on the main stream, as soon he'll be going up against Neeb.
Ooh. Too high profile TVP sends things off with, I guess. But regardless, we are going to be spawning into Hardwire LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have a red Terran player coming down from the land of America. He's, of course, going to be representing the license to kill, LTK. He is Binski.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire ESL, we have the Blue Protoss player himself, representing Apprentice Esports, one of Sugar's boys. It is DisK, the Canadian Protoss.
Ooh. Yeah, Sugar definitely holding up the NA scene, the NA region.
Mm-hmm.
Both with his team, Apprentice Esports, and also by, just organizing all these events for the NA scene.
Yeah, NA Apprentice. He also was running the Apprentice Esports circuit as well, and the Apprentice Cups. Sugar, he does whatever he can for the NA scene, and we gotta respect that. Gotta give him a lot of love.
Yeah. Enough to chug some maple syrup.
We'll see if we're gonna have to do that here at the end of this series. I'll be honest, I don't have any maple syrup in the house.
I don't either. I mean, I have honey.
I also have honey. It's not the same. I don't think I think chugging honey will kill us. I think.
So thick.
It is. I think we will suffocate.
So
I don't.
thick. Yeah.
Oh god.
You gotta cut it with some water and lemon.
You will. But so far, we do have some pretty standard openers coming out from our players here. Again, the big question is going to be, you know, how will DisK, I almost called him Disky, DisK open up, whether with the Twilight Council or with the Stargate?
Yeah, we're about to find out as, you know, we're just getting standard openings out of our players. There's that Twilight Council coming down.
Oh, yeah?
Just keeping his options open. And speaking of open, Reacted Reapers coming up from Binski in TVP.
Yeah, kind of a little bit odd here, but with Reacted Reapers, you can go across the map, you can get into the main base. We do have 2 Reaper cliffs to come into the main, so we got plenty of options to get that full scout off, so Binski can make sure it is in fact a Twilight Council.
Yeah, always nice to know what you're up against, as this will affect your openings a little bit as a Terran player.
Exactly. Meanwhile, at the same time, Adept does confirm the bunker here at the front door. Reapers are moving out, and we'll see if they... No, yeah, they don't turn around. They don't want to do anything, have anything to do with this Adept.
Yeah, they were considering it for a sec, but they know what their mission is. They're just... they're doing recon, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. As they go into the main base, is there anything to stop them? There is 1 Stalker, so there shouldn't be too much economic damage being done. Oh, but they do go for the probes.
Yeah, 2 Reapers can definitely do quite a lot. It's enough to start 3-shotting the probes. They can do especially more if they get the KD8 charges out. I don't believe they've been able to scout the Twilight Council, though, but now he will.
Yeah, there we go. 3 probe kills and a scout, and the 1 Reaper is still alive for a little bit longer. Can he still have a shot? No, he cannot. Will get cleaned up. But again, nicely done here for those 2 Reapers.
Yeah, this is well worth it for DisK. A little bit more committed when it comes to his scouting, but getting 3 probes and that full scout paid off big time for him.
Exactly. Meanwhile, ooh, a little bit supply blocked here. Very unfortunate. As he wants to go for a drop, but he can't make the medevac. That's a really late depot, actually. Ooh.
Yeah. It's potentially going to cut into his, you know, army later down the line if he does decide to go for the timing attack, which typically when a Terra player opens up with a mine drop like this, that's what they're going to be building towards.
Yeah, it usually is. Again, drop is going to be a little bit late, but you know, that may work to his benefit. Maybe because of the slightly mistimed drop, DisK won't be in position here with his Stalkers, as Blink is going to finish up. His main is looking a little bit exposed, not going to lie. The Stalkers here at the natural instead, as the drop is moving out.
And at the very least, he does have that pylon position at the main base to give him a little bit of a spotter, but Binski actually going for the natural instead.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if he's going to be able to borrow. What's important is that because the medevac was delayed, he's able to leave with 3 instead of 2 Widow Mines, so maybe he can still get damage done despite the fact that the Stalkers are not too far away.
Yeah, but even after blinking, it's they have a little bit of ground to cover. They do not see the medevac!
Yo, the medevac dives in. No reaction! What? Where's the response?
The response is a little late coming out from DisK right now. 7 probes will go down. It could have been a lot worse, but Binski rather, also does keep all of his Widow Mines alive. He is waiting for the opportunity to dive in with them again.
And that means that DisK has to stay at home. You know, I'm sure he would have loved to move out across the map, especially with this Observer, to maybe even go into the main base. Again, just contain his opponent on 2 bases and slow down any kind of push. But now he's stuck at home. He has to be because of the drop.
Yeah, even keeping just a couple of stalkers there will dip in a lot to his harassment potential later down the line. Binski does dive back in, but this time there is a reaction, there is a blink, so you know, all the mines will land and a couple of probes will get taken out, but not the biggest of deals at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, it is 9 workers in total and a Stalker. Not bad here for a single drop. Was able to scout, and he was even able to see the follow-up, was able to confirm the robotics bay.
Yeah, he knows that Colossus are on the agenda right now for DisK, so you know, he will have to keep his eyes on that if he decides to push out. He's working on Stim, Combat Shield +1. He wants to hit this timing.
Yeah, exactly. This 3rd base is on the way, but it's, you know, relatively late. Binski is more concerned with the push. At the same time, is going to be looking to dive in with his Raven, but, ooh, the Raven, okay, there we go, is on the way.
Yeah, actually using it to harass, which, will cut into his energy later on. He won't be able to disable the Colossus, but maybe he's confident enough in his unit control. He's positioning on the Marauders and whatnot to have that not matter. DisK definitely doesn't have Thermal Lance yet.
Yeah, I think what's a little bit... Okay, there we go. I was like, oh, where's the first Colossus? The first Colossus is now on the way. Looking a little bit exposed.
Really?
Oof. Okay, it's like...
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
My bad. There is one Colossus. Thank God.
Oh, one Colossus isn't that scary, so it might as well be none.
But I'm a little bit surprised, as you were saying. Okay, there we go. Extended Thermal Lance is on the way as well. So DisK, he is tightening things up here. He's finally regaining control of his side of the map. And Binski can't really push in here, especially with that Colossus.
Yeah, that was definitely a timing to be had, but he's been delayed long enough that there's enough of a buffer for that Colossus, and four Marauders ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, exactly, but it's not necessarily about that. Right now, DisK is preoccupied with that main army, that we have a drop coming into the main base.
Oh, but the Stalkers are in position to blink directly on top of the Medivacs. There are plenty of Marauders here, though. Can he deny Thermal Lance? Not quite. With this army pushing in to deal with that, but as that army pushes in, this army pushes out.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get the shield battery. Can't push in any further, though, because we did have a second shield battery. Overcharge is being popped. DisK is going to be holding on to his third base, but reinforcements are on the way. Binski really wants to push himself in.
Yeah, Binski's fortifying this position as he tries to harass
Widowmine
once again with Widow Mine.
Ah!
It's an armory this time, so it requires detection to deal with that. And it pulls a lot out of position. Binski now collapsing on top of this army. He takes out an entire mineral line of probes. Eventually will get cleaned out here, but this is some really great stutter stepping and kiting coming out from him.
Yeah.
So we'll take out the Archons even, and a lot of the gateway units while this all happens. Again, with the economic damage that DisK has sustained, these are losses that will catch up with him.
They're gonna reset! Oh god, it's so close, but with the friendly fire, he's going to be able to clean up these Widow Mines in the end. But 13 probes did go down. DisK behind in the economy. Binski fully saturated 3 bases. He's working on a 4th as well. And as you were saying, even though he wasn't able to break the 3rd base, like, he traded surprisingly well against the army of DisK.
Incredibly well. See Binski with a massive supply lead that just sort of reflects the trade and the economic advantage he has.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not stopping, by the way. The Raven is still alive in between the bases to throw down some auto turrets. We have a drop here waiting outside the main. There are units in position to deny that, but I mean, this is just supply that's not going to be a part of the main engagement.
Really is, and that hurts DisK a whole lot more than it hurts Binski, as we can see with the armies.
Exactly. Meanwhile, a second drop is going to meet up with the first here to go into the main base. Binski will scan, confirming that now we have disruptors coming into the mix.
And that just makes it a little bit, even trickier for Binski to push into a choke point like this, even though he does have a supply lead.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of a Zealot run by. The Zealot run by is going to get cleaned up, going to get a handful of SCV kills. Meanwhile, so will the double drop.
Yeah, I mean, it trades out a couple of Stalkers, which is nice, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, solid defense here from DisK, he doesn't really lose too much. I am still concerned about his main army. I do think that he's really lacking when it comes to any kind of buffer. I'm surprised. We do have a decent gateway count, but again, he just hasn't really been, fortifying this. Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, he is down in the income, so I guess when he does have enough minerals, he will rather prioritize the, backbone units like Archons or Disruptors. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. These are ripe for the picking, if they don't have the support of chargelets or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising. Like, DisK has been missing some probe cycles. He is making up for that now. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, the disruptors are going to kill off.
Uber exposed. One Purification Nova almost lands, but doesn't quite in the end, as the disruptor does get picked off. And Binski is maxed out now.
Oh my god.
DisK still struggling to make an army.
This is I'm just not used to seeing this in TVP, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
The fact that Binski is dwarfing the supply, he already has enhanced shockwaves, ghosts are coming out, Vikings as well to connect with those EMPs. Zealot run by runs into a bunker of all things, is going to get into the mineral line, so some work is going to go down due to the whole position, but again, not too much damage.
Yeah, and 4 Marines here in the bunker. It's enough to take out these. It's enough to clear out these zealots! And Binski is paying attention to his main army. He knows that one single purification over is going to lead to a very bad day, and he wants to prevent that from happening.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, we have another drop here into the main base. A double drop. The shield battery goes down. Overcharge was just used, by the way, in the main base, so it will not be available for this big fight.
I mean, there's not even the shield battery in that base location, so yeah, things are not looking up for DisK at the moment. He forces the army back to deal with a single Widowmine drop, but the rest of the army of DisK is starting to collapse in this position. Binski kiting backwards against the purification overs, but it's still one available to him. No! A lot of ghosts go down to that one Nova, but so does the entire mineral line of DisK.
Oh my god, exactly. Was it maybe worth it? We'll see, because Binski is going to lose his entire army here on the front line. His drop is getting out of control, forces a recall, and if Binski doesn't if DisK doesn't counterattack now, like, yo, Binski can just rebuild.
Honestly, this is well worth it, I think, for Binski right now, because you identified it, you know, DisK had a window of opportunity right now to push out, but because he didn't, Binski, whose economy has been basically untouched aside from that one zealot run by, is able to remax much quicker than DisK will be.
Man, I'm just shocked that we had a recall from DisK and he didn't even the recall died. like the units that were recalled were just not enough to clean up this drop. We still even have Widowmines here in the main.
Hey, definitely miscalculated on that.
Yeah, it just goes to show just how much damage this one drop did, as again the Widowmine shots is just going to go off once again. Finally they will eventually be cleaned up, but Binski is just looking to remax, already working on +3.
Yeah, doesn't have a 5th base whatsoever, but he doesn't really need to at this point. He could trade, well, I guess he can't trade to it efficiently, but every loss is hurting DisK a lot more than it's hurting Binski.
This is the Raven from the start of the game, by the way.
It is.
It's got 23! It's got 23! 23 kills!
It hasn't thrown down a single disable, not a single anti-armor missile. It is just a stone cold probe killer. Binski is maxed out again.
You say probe killer. I'm pretty sure there was a cannon here at some point, and I'm pretty sure the Raven killed the cannon as well.
True.
It's crazy.
You don't see that too often. Auto turrets! Oh! Great pickoff from that purification over, but Binski is remaxed, so...
Yeah, Binski is remaxed. He's just looking to hammer things home. Meanwhile, another Widowmine drop here in towards the 3rd base. Widowmines will go off. Not getting too much damage, but again, like, this economy just isn't doing well regardless. Like, it's hurting so much.
Yeah, I don't think DisK has ever had more than 60 workers this game.
He hasn't, actually. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Binski's coming in again. Regardless, like, despite having such high supply, he has to really respect this army. He cannot dive in, especially because of these Novas.
Yeah, nice EMP on top of the Archons, and Binski will get a couple of key pickoffs, but like you said, you just can't push in because of disruptors, so instead, he gets even his auto turrets, man. Oh. This natural base is just cursed. DisK cannot mine from it at all. Even a Widowmine to really secure things.
It's disgusting. 12 more probes go down. Binski is just, again, decimating the economy, but nothing ever goes up. Ooh.
And that takes out all the ghosts, actually.
True. Oh my god, really nice Novas here from DisK. And honestly, these disruptors are keeping DisK in the game right now.
Yeah. By the way, Binski is maxed out again.
But really, that's just more units to hit with those Novas, man. Like, they just keep coming in. Oh god.
One mine will never get dealt with, will it?
I hope it will one day, puppy, one day. Binski's looking to dive on in. He has a decent amount of Vikings here. Archons are doing a great way to zone them out, though. Meanwhile, Binski, he just dives in.
Yeah, great EMPs on top of the Archon, splits against the Purification Ovas. There are plenty of Disruptors here, but they have lost their buffer. Basically trying to kite, but the Novas do land, and all of a sudden the army supply is even. Maybe even favored towards DisK, as a lot of the army supply is in medevacts for Binski.
Yeah, like, honestly, that was a great fight for DisK. He kept all of his Disruptors and Colossus alive. Well, the majority, he did lose one of each, but that is nothing, mate. DisK, it is now time to counterattack. He's been waiting for this one fight, and you could definitely argue that Binski overextended.
Definitely did, and while I do think that the trade was in Binski's favor, just because of losing all those Archons and that one Colossus, DisK has a massive window of opportunity right now where he just straight up has the better army.
He does.
His economy still lacking, but that doesn't really matter.
Up! Oh, but the disruptors are left exposed for one moment. Two of them get picked off immediately, and that is so important here. Finally, Binski is starting to deal with that disruptor count. Looking at the units tab, we only have 3 remaining, and Binski is getting Liberators out.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I'm liking Binski's army a bit more than DisK's.
Yeah. Liberators are really what Binski's been missing for a long time. He thought he could brute force his way through with Bio, and like he's only making a single Liberator at a time, so he's not really leveraging his advantage too heavily here. So DisK is still in an okay position, but once they come out in decent numbers, like DisK doesn't have an answer to Libs, especially with range.
Yes, Stalkers are nice, but they're not going to be able to blink on top of the Liberators when there are these many Marauders and Marines in the fray.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we have a triple drop here into the main base. It's going to do well. You know, +3 is done. The main army is shocking around. First Liberator will siege. Oof.
Radiant piece on top of the entire army, and Binski just blinks on forward, targets out every single disruptor. Colossus was shredding that, but at that point, DisK saw the writing on the wall. He just lost way too many expensive units in that engagement. Units that he couldn't remake because of how, how awful his economy was. And with that, Binski takes game number 1 pretty convincingly, honestly.
Very convincingly. GG, well played. Binski tore DisK apart, mate. The only area that he was lacking, I feel, is Binski was tunnel visioning a little bit too much on Marine Marauder Ghost, when he could have been getting more starports and getting a decent Liberator count faster. But other than that, like, he played that so well. That Raven, by the end of the game, I think had like 30 kills. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Again, that Swarm Terran style of Binski working out really, really well for him. And yeah, definitely better in these TVPs rather than in TVT. I actually have a statistic for you here, Light.
Go for it.
DisK made 116 workers that game, but never had more than 65 at a time, and even then that was only for about 30 seconds in that game.
Yeah.
For the majority, for the most part, he only had about like 40 to 50 workers.
Like, I felt bad for DisK. Like, again, DisK, it's not like he was neglecting his defenses and his mineralites. Like, he was getting cannons up, he was getting shield batteries. Yep. Like, he was leaving units in his main, but these drops, like, because of the upgrade advantage, these drops were getting out of control. The Raven, there was no real way to deal with the Raven either. Like, he was even Widowmine dropping, like, towards the end of the game as well. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Everything just to cut off the supply, I guess. As we continue our series on to 2,000 Atmospheres, where in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner, we of course have a blue Protoss player hailing from the land of Canada, the old Maple Leafs. He is going to be representing Apprentice Esports. He is DisK.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 Atmospheres LE, we have the American Terran player himself. He is red, representing Team License to Kill, LTK. And proxying in the middle of the map, it is Binski.
You may as well if you're up in a series, you know?
Let's go, DisK. He's a little bit wise to this, though. He is scouring the map. He is scouting the edges here along the right-hand side. Not the left, though.
Yeah, and this does actually delay the main base scout by a little bit. Now, eventually, he will be able to see where is your barracks, buddy. But by then, will it be too late by then? We'll find out.
Yeah, both gases have been taken. Are we getting a tech lab on this? Are we getting Proxy Marauder, mate?
With one barracks? No.
Never mind. Yeah. I was getting excited, but it looks like it is going to be just a single Reaper in the middle of the map. And he's going to be hoping that maybe DisK overreacts here to the defense, as DisK is well aware that something is being proxied.
Yeah, bunker. Oh, not going to be thrown down in the mineral line. Its probe is being so diligent with that. How's it positioning off the SCV? Not great right now. Oh! The RNG is on his side for now.
Disgusting, mate. As the Reaper is taking a couple of hits, but you know what? The Reaper is here to protect said SCV. Probe is going to go down, and the bunker is looking to finish.
Wow, very nicely done here by Binski. Now, shield battery did get thrown down by DisK, so it's not the biggest of deals in the world. And obviously, DisK can't ignore this for the time being. It just is going to delay the mining by a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. This is a really nice spot there. Oh my god, sick hot pick up there in a way with the bunker, keeping the SCV alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, is it a pickup if it's a bunker?
I guess not. I guess I get in there.
Yeah, ooh!
Great. Hot pick
Hot
up.
pick down? Yeah. Throw down? Question mark? I don't know.
Oh my god. Regardless, this will get cleaned up. We do have the salvage just in time. SCV gets picked up, but the Reapers will survive.
And Double Reaper, again, did a lot for Binski in game number 1. Picked off more SCVs than they really should have, and also got a really good scout off. This time on 2,000 atmospheres, DisK is fortifying the Reaper cliffs. But with the introduction of the Hellion, they can just YOLO through the natural and go straight for the main.
That's the thing, right? The wall is not a wall. There is no wall. So Binski can force his way through if need be. Looks like he's gonna try and stick up the main base, but yeah, Stalkers are in position.
Yeah, Stalkers were in both positions. Maybe a bit of a rally mistake there by Binski. You know, he didn't group up his units, or split off just a little bit too much, but at least it keeps him alive.
Oh yeah. He does keep him alive. Meanwhile, back at home, he's working towards a Widowmine drop again. Hopefully, this doesn't kind of spark any PTSD from DisK, because we saw how much damage Widowmine dealt last game. Ow. What? Why is there a probe here across the map? I mean, it does scout the starport, and we'll see the medevac.
For a second, this is how we know it's late light. For a second, I thought that the probe was going to get picked up by the medevac.
This is how we know it's early, mate. Oh my god. What time did the cast start for you, Yaku, in Singapore?
4 a.m. Yeah,
4 a.m. I love the idea of your neighbors being woken up at 4 a.m. to add. Oh god.
That's what they get.
Ay.
Well, yeah, I actually got to be worried about that for now, because I did reveal my face to my next door neighbors the other day for the first time.
Oh, the first
Lived
time.
together for about a year, and they're only seeing me now.
Yeah, now they know. Oh god.
Now they're like, the face does not match the voice.
Ay. It's okay. Hopefully everything's okay again. The day is getting later here as we are in our final series. No noise complaints yet. Not yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they might just take it in their own hands.
Oh god. As the game is getting underway, we do see DisK across the map. He is here with his observer, so he should be able to scout again. Just the production, the fact that there is no third CC, recognizing that this is pretty similar to the last game.
Indeed it is. But for DisK, we have a massive divergent coming up here. No Robo Bay. Instead, we see a massive gateway explosion coming in, fighting the swarm with a swarm.
I kind of like this. I say kind of because I feel like you do have to be a little bit greedier if you're going for this style. You know, you need to get your third base up and running. You need to probe as hard as possible, and then you can overwhelm your opponent with Blink Stalkers, with charge lots as well. You do lose a lot with this because obviously you don't have consistent splash damage, but the idea is to overwhelm your opponent.
Yeah, and that can definitely happen pretty easily on 2,000 atmospheres, provided that DisK does fight in the open, in the open spaces. A pretty major difference for Binski this game. He didn't go for the Raven, and he is delaying his third base by quite a bit, so we'll see if this swarm style can even come into play for DisK.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage this push can do, because charge isn't really close to being done here. So the third base is under a little bit of danger, but we do have sentries, we have force fields, we have shield batteries being thrown down, and the bio army is almost non-existent.
Oh yeah, it's been decimated. Right now it's one Marauder and one Marine. A couple of reinforcements are coming down the line, but it's nowhere near enough to sustain an engagement. Binski is aware of that. He backs away, and Overall, you gotta favor DisK in this position.
Definitely. Looking at the battle report, Binski lost 13 SCVs. For 2 stalkers, so maybe a little bit stubborn, just like not slowing down and trying to force himself across the map. Was punished for it in the end. Now DisK, he is free to saturate his third and even take a fourth.
Yeah, meanwhile, Binski, he had to do damage early on. That's the reason why he delayed the third base for so long, and now he's getting it, but it's so much later than DisK. He's down 10 workers, and even with mules, that's a massive deficit.
Yeah, he's going to try and push out again, and I don't blame him, but now charge is done. We have all of our gateways. We have immortals as well. Like, DisK is pretty well fortified. We do have a bit of a Widowmine drop here, but the Widowmines are going to get sniped before they go off. Oh!
Very good blink. Not really, chasing the mines a little bit away off their targets. Not really losing too many probes in that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Binski even getting caught out here by the charge shots. I don't really know if this is the fight you want to be taking. Widowmine shots can kind of change this, but...
Oh. And those are some pretty dang good shots, but I think there are enough stalkers regardless. Massive zealot run by.
Yeah.
Getting rid of this bunker and deleting a mineral line.
Unlike game number 1, the zealots are dealing a lot of damage. 11 SCVs go down and forces the entire army back home, and DisK is going for the 1-2 punch. Zealots here at the natural, main army hitting the third base. Tanks go down immediately, and mate, this could just be it.
I think it's gonna be, mate. I mean, Binski technically has a higher army, but DisK has a much better army. His upgrades are here. He's got the zealots and whatnot. Pulling of the boys will keep Binski alive for now, but just barely. He's on life support with the amount of SCVs he's got left.
Yeah, he's got 40 workers right now. DisK is in fact getting that fourth base. Now he's finally getting some splash damage as well. Storm just finished up for his High Templar. He can get some Archons going. DisK is having a much easier time here in game 2.
Yeah, and I'm loving this adaptation from him. He's recognized that if he does try to go for the more standard play and be the defensive player in this dynamic, then he's just going to get overwhelmed by Binski. So he's fighting fire with fire. He's decided that the best defense is a good offense.
Pretty much, mate. We have another zealot run by. Unfortunately, there's nothing at home to defend, so Binski's going to be losing a lot of mining time. He's committed with this push. He has to deal damage. Right now, he is avoiding the army, which is great, but they're going to be coming from behind. Like, he's trapping himself. He's, again, committed.
Yeah, but he will have his Widowmine siege up. The High Templar will land their storms. One of them will get taken out, but there's still plenty of energy from the rest of them. Widowmines do get some decent connections.
Meanwhile, back at home, the zealots were not cleaned up. 7 SCVs went down, forces the lift up of the third base. And this is what I was talking about. Like, Storm, there's still plenty left here. Like, there's plenty of energy on these High Templar. This drop doesn't do what it needed to do.
Yeah, and if it ever tries to escape, the Stalkers are in position to cancel them.
Oh yeah, Stalkers here in the main base. We have even some High Templar to feed back if need be, those medevacs. Right now, I feel like Binski has to think about what he wants to do in Game 3. We'll see. I mean, we do have a Ghost Academy on the way, and EMPs will change everything if he can get his Ghost out.
And that's a pretty massive if, because he is struggling to gather any resources to get them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's mule hammering his third base as hard as he can. He's got a decent army. He's got a Widowmine as well. Unfortunately, a lot of his supply is trapped here in the top right-hand corner of the map, so he doesn't have everything to defend, and he may just have to give up the third again.
Yeah, give it the third, give it the map. I mean, you nailed it. The supply that Binski has available for him just isn't in the right position. Everything gets taken out here. He will land a triple drop again, but that's a really nice storm. Battery overcharge will keep everything alive. I just don't see a way for Binski to defend from here on out.
Yeah, it's just far too much. The ghosts are getting picked up as well. The main army forces itself in. Meanwhile, the drop gets cleaned up. GG gets called, and DisK ties up the series 1-1.
Proving that he is a household name in the region for a reason.
Exactly. Like, as you were saying, I really do appreciate that DisK recognize that kind of a Robo Colossus based army is very immobile. Like, it's very slow to respond to all these drops and all this aggression. So for him to switch things up into a more flexible kind of gateway style really worked out well for him.
It absolutely did. And I'll see if that continues as we move to the ace match, our final map of the evening, and it is a massive one.
Oh. Exactly. Now it's on Binski to adapt now. These like bio tank pushes, it worked really well for him in game 1. Did literally nothing. Just hurt himself here in game number 2. I can't imagine he's going to do the same thing on Glittering Ashes.
Well,
I hope not. I hope not.
Regardless of what he goes for, I have to imagine he's going to keep this similar, very active style.
Boy, we'll see if he's going to be able to keep things up here. Again, both series so far for Binski have gone all the way to the ace match. Can he win this one, though?
That's what we're going to find out.
Exactly, as we're loading into the final game of our final series of the night. This is where it all ends.
Of the morning.
The morning.
Sun's coming up. I can see it. See it by my window. As we conclude everything here on Glittering Ashes, we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the blue Protoss player coming down from that great white north known as Canada. He is going to be representing Apprentice Esports. He is DisK.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the American Terran player himself, representing Team Licensed to Kill LTK. It is Binski.
This time building at home? Yeah, building at home. I got excited when I saw the SCV. But it's just a scouting SCV.
Yeah, it's just an SCV looking to NG Bay, NG block. Let's go.
NG block?
Yo,
oh, so many probes. Oh, man. This isn't the first time DisK was NG blocked on Glittering Ashes. SCV not quite going down, but yeah, this is nothing more than just a mild annoyance for DisK.
Yeah, really nice read here by DisK. He was able to scout the SCV with his scouting probe, confirmed, okay, I need to pull some boys, and because of that, the NG Bay didn't really get a lot of progress on it, didn't get a lot of HP, and DisK was able to very easily deal with it.
Yeah, it doesn't really delay much, doesn't even lose that much mining time, honestly.
Very nicely done, very nicely done. Meanwhile, for the first time this series, Binski is actually skipping his Reaper.
Okay. This is going to have a much larger push eventually. I mean, again, if he decides to go for it. Binski hasn't done anything different yet, and don't really believe there's too much reason for him to change now. And just because it didn't work for him in game number 2 doesn't mean it's not a strong build to go for.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Binski is just being a little bit more efficient here. Obviously, he's going to be playing in the dark. He's kind of taking a risk in a certain sense because he's not going for the Reaper. But at the same time, like, DisK has been pretty samey with his openers. So, yeah. I don't necessarily think that Binski's going to be punished for this. I'll be surprised if we see a Stargate from DisK.
Yeah, I will be too, to be honest. Probe will throw down a Robo.
Oh my god!
Whoa. I'm even more surprised than if it was a Stargate.
What an animal, mate. Robo first. Are we gonna see a Disruptor or a Colossus drop? Is he gonna go straight into a Robotics Bay, Yaku?
It's gotta be, right?
It's gotta be, mate.
Unless it's just Mass Immortal. But why would you go Mass Immortal in a PvT?
Yeah. So this should be for Fast Colossus, and this is great to shut down 3 Raxes, as he's trying to blindly kind of like count on that. But DisK hasn't been able to scout the main base, and as we can see, it's just a 1-1-1. Up!
It is, and the Adept will seek its way in, and will confirm once again that it is going to be that mine drop coming out from Binski. Even delays the starport for so long. Probe on the other side of the map. Yeah, I gotta get a probe kill. Not even that. Okay, a probe kill.
Yeah, only one. Meanwhile, the Adept is still not dealt with in the main base. Eventually, it'll be cleaned up, but not before killing 3 of these SCVs. Finally, it goes down. And from the side of DisK, again, we should be seeing a robotic space soon. Like, he doesn't have any tech. He throws down his fire console now. But I guess it makes sense for him to not throw down a robotic space upon seeing this.
DT? Drop? No, it's too late for that, but I'm just throwing out what I want to see at this point.
Yeah. So I do think this is overall a better opener for Binski, because I think DisK is having like kind of an awkward transition to eventually get into Blink, and Blink is going to be so late as a result of this.
Pretty much. These Widowmine drops can do a heck of a whole lot, which is why we see DisK trying to be as vigilant as possible, not only sending the observer across the map, but also getting a couple of spotter pylons back in his main.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the drop is going out across the map, and again, what's important is that because DisK delayed his Twilight Council, Blink will not be done for this, so he's going to have a bit of a harder time shutting down this drop. It's still possible, and he was able to scout it earlier, so he's well aware that it's coming. We'll see if he can handle it, though.
That's a Robo Bay, but at this point, yeah, DisK is going to be building Colossus or Disruptors more defensively than, the drop that it looked like he was building up to anyway.
Yeah. Again, it was really nice of him to adapt, but we'll see if it's going to be enough here as the Widowmine drops, and we'll get one worker.
Yeah, almost a little bit of a fake out there, but DisK is well aware that the medevac wants a hell of a lot more than just one probe. It's filling up the stalker count just to sort of trap the medevac in place. Oh, we'll see where it goes from here. Raven coming out once again.
Oh yeah. Raven coming out once again. Oh my god, can he live up to the name of the Raven from game 1 and get another 23 plus probe kills? I hope not. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh my god.
The war begins. Binski is just continuing to build up a very, very powerful push. DisK is getting Thermal Lance a lot quicker than he did in game number 1.
He is. The Raven is on the way, but the Stalkers are here to intercept. DisK is going to completely shut this down.
The Raven is going to go down. Not only will it get 0 probe kills, it also won't provide any utility in the eventual push out. And things are definitely looking up a lot for DisK. This is, again, a pretty potent timing coming out from Binski, but as long as DisK is able to make sure he doesn't lose the Colossus, fight within range of shield batteries, maybe even pick off some of the bio with his Stalkers, I don't see a way for Binski to win with this push.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't that many Stalkers to slow him down, but they will slow him down regardless. Speaking of, a couple of these Marine Stim isn't done yet, by the way, so we can't really chase this down. So a great start here for DisK. But Binski, he's here across the map, but with the Colossus already waiting, like, Binski cannot push in.
Yeah, he's gonna have to find a different position. Or bait some of the army. No, even then, there's, I think, too little here for Binski.
Yeah. I do appreciate, though, that this time Binski's third base is much faster than in the previous game, so he's a lot less committed with this push. He's not really banking so much on this to deal damage, so he will be able to transition a little bit more efficiently from here. Meanwhile, unfortunately, there is no Raven to pull away the attention of DisK, so Binski is having a hard time pushing in. He's relying a lot on this drop. Oh.
And the drop gets deflected once more.
Well, Colossus is looking a little bit exposed. Up.
Once them on forward, not quite going to be able to deny these Colossus. Didn't even need to use the Sentry energy. So nicely done there.
Yeah, nice depowering of these shield batteries, but more pylons are being turned down anyway. Oh, when my jump comes in!
And won't quite get much damage, unfortunately, here for Binski. Fortunately here for DisK, he was paying attention. He was able to maneuver his probes.
Yeah, didn't lose too many of them in total. Only 2 probes went down there, 4 in total this game. Binski is going to be able to reinforce here, but again, with only a single tank, he's going to have a hard time brute forcing his way through. We now have 3 Colossus. Interestingly, we have Temple Archives on the way as well, already looking to get into Archons.
Yeah, just a really good way of rounding off his army, his unit composition. Nice surround on these Stalkers, but unfortunately for Binski, they do have Blink.
Yeah, despite that though, 2 Stalkers get picked off. Yo, they blink into the Widow
Oh!
Mines.
You love to see it. Massive. Just like that, the soccer cup pretty much got cut in half. Doesn't matter much in the end, as DisK is trying to free up some supply for his more high-tech units, but still, it's a very nice pick off. The Warpism, little bit idle, does fly into a bunch of Marines.
An unfortunate rally there by DisK. The War Prism goes down. We do still have a little bit of a Zealot run by, but it's going to get cleaned up. Another Zealot run by going through the center of the map. I believe this was spotted by Binski. Head towards the 3rd base.
Yeah, there are reinforcements in position to deal with the natural, but not the 3rd just yet. Fucker, not even gonna be able to finish here.
Yeah, a lot of SCVs are going down here. The reinforcements are not enough to deal with all of these Zealots. Binski does not turn around, by the way. He's going for a triple drop into the main.
And if this can equalize the damage, then Binski definitely has a very big opportunity later on the line. The main is looking uber exposed, and the push into the 3rd is gonna further distract DisK. I almost said Bliss.
I heard the Blisk as well, mate. Here we go. The tank gets into the main base. Stalkers do blink on top of it, and they will be able to focus it down. It looks like DisK may have enough. He will be able to shut down this drop.
Yeah, once again, trapping. Oh, a lot of the bio force even takes down a medevac full of bio. And when it's all said and done, Binski wasn't really able to get that much damage. They're 800 workers, which is something at least.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well, to be honest. Like, it didn't look like DisK was caught in between all of his bases. He wasn't in his main, he wasn't in his 3rd base, but he was still able to respond in time. I think a lot of that was because of all the shield batteries, so like Binski had to waste a lot of DPS focusing them all down first before dealing any real damage. And the bunker is still not ready. Like, these Zealot run-bys are just doing so much.
Back with a vengeance. No, I like the Marauders positioning, but Marauders just don't have that much DPS against a light unit like Zealots.
Yeah, exactly. 7 more SCVs go down. Decent hold position here, but the Marauders are being cleaned up at the same time. Drop in towards the natural, so Binski is looking to deal some damage. Oh my god, can he get the Disruptor? Up!
He will not be able to get the Disruptor. Very unfortunate there for Binski. Almost worth that drop. Well, not quite, but almost. And now his economy is in shambles. I won't say that DisK hasn't really been probing up that much.
No!
But the army was a little bit idle, and the Purification Novas will take out just about half of the supply of Binski. Just like that, and DisK is looking to keep this going. He's looking to press his advantage.
He is, mate. 2 of the juiciest Novas you could ever hope for. Binski was looking back at home. His attention was not on his army. And now DisK is coming in for the kill. Binski, he's hurting in the economy. He's hurting in the army. He doesn't really have much left. He does have a couple of Ghosts for EMP, but can he really stand up to this army?
Disruptors will take out even more SCVs, and there were plenty more where that came from. Great splits in the end there. The army is staying out a little bit for DisK, but there's just too much economic damage dealt on Binski. GG. DisK will take that series 2-1 after really adapting his play accordingly.
GG, well played. I will say that Binski, like, there were moments here where he was looking impressive, right? Like, he was keeping up with DisK. Just a couple of unfortunate things, you know, like the Raven getting sniped early, not really doing much. Widow Mines didn't really get too much damage done either because of the scout, because of the first Adept getting into the main base and slowing the drop down as well and scouting everything. It did feel like DisK, like, it was almost as if like game 1 was more of a warm-up and he was able to level up over the course of the series.
Yeah, well, I'm liking what Sugar is saying here in the chat. You know, knowing DisK, he was probably tilted after game number 1. He was angry, mate. Is what happened after game number 1. He's like, oh, this guy. he wants to Raven harass me? All right, I'll show him how it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like that, he's able to come back and take the W in the end. This does mean that Binski is down in the group, but once again, I want to really emphasize this. Not only are we just at the beginning of the NA group stage, the fact that he was able to take it all the way to the ace match, both is a good omen for how he'll play throughout the rest of the group, and also is something that can be a huge factor as the rest of the group gets played off, you know? When we get to, I guess, as the group stage continues, as we get towards the end, little things like, just having those map victories can really put you over the edge and determine whether or not you do advance to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think something like looking at the group itself, exclamation mark B in the chat, by the way, if you guys want to have a look at the Wikipedia page. I do think that DisK and Vindicta are two of the stronger players in Group B. So for Binski to go to the ace match against them, like, he's got to be feeling pretty good against the other players in the group, like players like Pili Pili, M Canning, Masa, like comparable in skill to Vindicta and DisK, sure, but I feel like Binski's gonna be feeling pretty good about this, right? Like, I know like losses can be hard on yourself, but again, for his debut run in DreamHack, like, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start, honestly, to take a map off of two of, like you said, probably the favorites of the group.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, Neeb is kind of the big star of the group that's there as well. But we can cross that bridge when we get to it. And yeah,
you know what? Yeah, even if Neeb, Neeb is kind of a shoo-in to make it out of the group, there's still 3 more spots.
Exactly. There's still plenty of opportunities for these players, and I just want to say GG and well played to Binski. Massive congratulations to DisK to take the series in the end and recover mentally after the first game, because again, the first game was a rough one to watch.
He was angry after that.
I like how people from both sides are saying like, nah, yeah, DisK was probably tilted. Like even like his boss Sugar is like, nah, yeah, probably.
Everybody could see that. Because you know what, anybody would be tilted, I think, after game number 1. In DisK's shoes.
Yeah. But the way that he was able to recover mentally, physically was really impressive as well. Again, I'm sure DisK, great things are ahead of him in this group to be able to move forward here, but we'll see, because it is still pretty early.
Yeah, still got, I believe, 4 more days of the NA group stage. No, I think even 5. 4? 5? Wait, but that also takes into account that I'm like, wait, it's 7 a.m.
6.
I'm not getting
6
to
days.
math. 6 days. 6 days. There we go.
Yeah, this was day 1 of 6. So yeah, plenty of
5 more days. Yeah,
plenty of days to come. Plenty of days to come here for DreamHack North America. And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves. Again, we were the D stream today. D for duck. Quack.
Not B for Paco.
Exactly.
Or K for Kachka.
We won't be a part of the broadcast for North America or Europe for the next couple of days. We will come back on the final day. It is going to be the 29th of May. So on the 29th, we will return, because once again, we will have 4 streams running. But when it comes to the B stream, we have handed off to the Alpha X boys. I believe Sephiroth was casting alongside
Cryobex on the C stream.
Yeah, Kyobex?
Yeah, Kyobex.
Oh my god. Wow, that's crazy.
In English. Yeah.
Kyobex casting in English. He's a Portuguese caster, by the way, so interesting. Same with Sephiroth, actually. Both of them are Portuguese. Or Brazilian, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool to see them.
Portuguese language.
Yeah, it's really cool to see them, providing English coverage, getting their names out there as well. It's cool to see, because they've been on a long hiatus from casting. Let me tell you, it's been years since they've last casted.
Yeah, Cosmos definitely missed them a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Pining.
But yeah, thank you so much, Yaku, for joining me today. I know it's really early in the morning. We started really early in the morning for you.
Yeah, it's still pretty early. But the sun is up, so
yeah,
it's a good sign.
Yeah, we need to be going to bed soon as well, because DreamHack China is this evening, and we will be the B stream for that.
Yeah, it's in 13 hours from now, so okay, that's time.
Yeah. I'm just gonna finish things up here.
Time will be there as well, but
time will be there. He actually will be there. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Again, if you want some more CranKy Duckling action, we will be the B stream for DreamHack this evening for DreamHack China, today and tomorrow. I know China is a different region, and it's at a pretty bad time zone for people living in America, in North America. But if you happen to be awake at the time, tune in.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It is a definitely very interesting region, especially when we're fortunate enough to cast the Terran Chad, known as Coffee.
Yes, not time, but coffee is the player to keep your eyes on. Oh god. So yeah, we're gonna be enjoying some of Coffee's new builds this evening. But before that happens, Yaku, why don't you tell the people a little bit more about yourself?
Because I forgot who I am at this point.
You're like, I just want to go to bed.
I want to eat, actually.
Yeah, same
Or I
actually.
go to bed.
This was my breakfast. Not hashtag not sponsored. Dare iced coffee, mate. Iced coffee.
This was my breakfast.
What is that? What is that?
These are glacier mints.
Oh my god. I was about to say, is that gum? Can you show that on stream? Are you gonna get shut down? Is like the FBI gonna
It's
like
hard candy.
Okay.
Yes, twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1 is where I sometimes stream. I was actually thinking of streaming last night, but then I was told that we're covering NA, so I thought, okay, I should take a nap. And twitter.com @EmporiaYakuzaku is where you can find me as well. Am I allowed to @ Discord? Because
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
! Discord. All right, that's CranKy Ducklings channel. I'm there. Light is there. Everyone's there, mate.
Yeah. We're all Migs is there. We're all in the Discord server if you want to join us socially. Meanwhile, you can check out all of our VODs. The VODs are going to be on YouTube. !YouTube in the chat. ! Socials in the chat. We're all over the place. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Not TikTok. We're not that young. We're not Zoomers. Well, Yaku is, but you know.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you have a TikTok account, and I don't. So
there you go, mate. Do you still not? Do you?
Yeah.
We don't have to get into it.
I made even after my pros and cons list.
Oh god. But yeah, you can interact with us there. We're live throughout the week. Again, this week our broadcasts are going to be on the ESL channel, so this channel won't be too live, but starting next week our regular tournaments are going to make their return. You know, Sparkling Tuna Cup, Sentimiento Latino, Go by Pyrian, ESL Open Cup Asia. I mean, if Yaku, if you're free, I think we can come back to ESL Open Cup Asia this weekend as well. Depending on how we feel.
I don't think I'm gonna be free.
Fair enough. So next week.
Looking at it.
But yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. You can follow me at light_VIP. I also stream throughout the week. I was actually live last night having a bit of a ladder session. I say ladder session, it was a ZVZ fest. I had like 10 out of 12 games for ZVZ. It was awful.
I mean, that's the ladder for you.
That's the ladder, mate. That's the ladder. So you can follow me there if you want. But thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Massive shout out to Kuro as well. Kuro is there in the chat. She's been, you know, running the predictions. She's been updating the score. She's been tweeting on social media. Yeah, the stream wouldn't run as smoothly if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta have somebody doing all of that so that we can remember to join lobbies.
Yes. And even then, sometimes we forget.
Yeah. Guilty, yeah.
Meanwhile, if you want to support and tune into some of the other streams, we are going to give them a bit of a raid. The main stream, the B stream, and the C stream, I think, are they all still going on? Are they?
A lot of them are finishing up. I think the main stream is just about wrapping up here. B stream is... Yeah, it's buffering for me, but... C stream is done. Main stream has finished the game, so it's just pretty much the interview and whatnot. And yeah, for whatever reason, I can't get the B stream.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Oh, well, that's because it's offline.
Oh. I guess it was a quick day of North American StarCraft today. I think I think all the streams were ahead of schedule. But
pretty much.
Yeah, stick around. We will give someone a raid. We'll give them our supports, and yeah, give them some love.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Who should we raid, Yaku?
We should raid, as all of the NA streamers are probably in the chat thinking, yeah, I should stream now. You should. You stream right now. We'll give you a raid.
We will. Right now, I'm thinking maybe Neuro streaming. Pig is streaming. And so is, I guess, the mainstream. We'll see. We'll give someone some love.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, with that, Yaku, do you have anything else you want to add before we head off?
Danger zone.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you guys this evening.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bella.